Hello and welcome to Talking Hoosier Baseball. Today is Wednesday, May 18th, 2022. I am Carl James, joined by Cassidy Palmer and Chris Feeney. Josh Bennett has the night off. We got quite a lot to talk about. We've got a 3-in-1 week from the Hoosiers, including two very exciting comeback victories, a series win over Minnesota, a Big Ten Pitcher of the Week performance in the one blowout game. Pretty exciting week, but still a lot to be determined. Looking pretty good for a slot in the Big Ten tournament, but still not actually cinched yet. So let's get on to it. Cass, why don't you get us started? What are your thoughts for this week?
I mean, the team did what they needed to do. They got the 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. Would have really liked the sweep, just to have the sweep, especially with it being that close. But did what they needed to do, and love that they got the first 2 games and then less stress on the third game. That helps. And then, honestly, with Illinois State, they also did exactly what they needed to do, because this one, in the scheme of things, as far as wins, losses, all that, meant absolutely nothing. 100% meant nothing record-wise, full season-wise. But they got some pitchers out there who hadn't seen time in a few weeks, and mostly did all right, figuring out where they could maybe plug in situational things down the stretch. And to me, and again, we've said this over and over with these comeback games and never quitting, and they're still doing that. Even in a game that realistically does not matter. Scoring 7 runs in the 8th inning to win the game, like, that is just huge.
Yeah.
Even in a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah. You had both. I think kind of that might have been the attitude for both teams. But I think what I really got out of it, and I was watching it, and then for a little while, and I was mostly listening, I had to go to different places. I wasn't actually able to go to that game, but I watched the first few innings with some of my family, and I remember they were like, "Oh, the guy's giving up hits," and I'm like, throwing strikes. That's what's important. And in a game like that, what I'm thinking about is, let's take a look at this as if it's, a Saturday second game or a Sunday game in the Big Ten tournament, when when all the teams involved are down to minimal pitching. And this is when you can throw guys like this. And you know what? You don't need them, to throw a 3-run game.
No.
They just need to keep the game within reach of the hitters.
Yep.
So 7 runs is fine. The key is you don't walk a lot of guys. You don't end up doing what Illinois State did in that 8th inning.
Yes.
Which is giving up a whole bunch of base runners by walks and then having to serve up a hanging curveball to the likes of Matthew Ellis.
Yeah, because even a lot in the score. I mean, no, on the pitching side, no inning had more than 2 runs, and even those one, like, 3rd inning, pair of doubles and a sac fly. Like, okay. 4th inning, they had 3 hits and only scored 1 run off of it. 5th inning was a little rough, couple walks in there, but still nothing huge. And 6th inning was not helped by wild pitches, but
well,
I'd rather this team pitch to contact anyway.
Exactly. And they said, I'm and a couple walks here and there, I'm not worried about it. It's when a guy just suddenly, what we were seeing before, which is where a single pitcher would completely lose the strike zone. Yeah. Then that pitcher would get replaced by another guy who never has the strike zone. Yeah. That's what we're not seeing anymore.
Yeah.
Well, but it's been quite a while since we've seen that either. right? That was all about the first, I don't know, 6-7 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
That they've really put a stop to that. Again, we've talked about this. We don't know what they did, but whatever they did, it worked.
Yeah.
And you really nailed it. I mean, even when Walker came out last night, he didn't have it. He was walking guys. And all of a sudden, though, it was K, fly out. Okay. He still did give up the 2-out hit. He did.
Yeah.
But it was a 2-out hit. He didn't walk a guy.
Yeah.
And then you know what? 2 guys. Right. You made. And then 2 guys were able to stop it. Yeah. They scored 4 innings in a row. And then at least 2 guys were able to stop it and give us a shot to come back. You're going to give up runs every single inning. I don't care if it's 1 or 2 runs.
Right.
It doesn't give the offense any hope. And Stahl and Platt said, you know what? We're done with this. 0-0, and here came the runs.
Well, and to me, even for Walker in that 6th inning, so finishing off the first time through and getting into a second time through, he got hit a bit technically, but it was a grounder through the left side, infield single.
Yeah. It was a tricky one that went down third base. There was just no play. Yeah, it was weird.
Right. And so he wasn't getting hit hard. It was just little they placed it perfectly.
I mean, the more focus has to be on the weekend anyway. I know yesterday just happened, so it's fresh in our brain.
Right.
But the comeback Friday, I mean, anybody in that stadium was just dumbfounded by how we were down that many runs on a Friday night and to have it flip. And then I know Saturday's mess of a couple of innings. I guess that doesn't even count. But then to have Ty do what he did, to have Ty say, you know what, no one else is pitching today. Man throws 111 pitches, doesn't give up a hit, walks a couple guys, picks a guy off, the whole thing. That's really where the focus is. And Mercer brought up last night that he was frustrated about the end of the Sunday game, that we should have kept adding on so that home run in the 9th didn't beat us. But it happened. Okay. I mean, still taking care of the series, was that 4 in a row? The focus is definitely more on the weekend, on the games that really mattered. The ones we had to have, the ones where on a Friday night and about the 8th inning, it was not looking very good. And to see them flip the script there was it needed. I mean, if we just flip that one game, the Big Ten standings are so close, we'd be sitting here singing a whole nother song about this weekend.
Yeah, so facing we have to win a series in order to make it. And
because we lost on a Friday to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But they weren't having it. The bats weren't having it. The bats said, no. It's been happening all year. Right. Unfortunately, in the beginning, the pitching was just giving up too much.
Yeah.
The bats kept coming. And they did hit that lull in the middle where really, all right. But I mean, how often and how many times can you go through it where you're going to score 9-10 runs a game and keep losing by 7?
Yeah.
It's not like we were losing 11-10. We were losing 18-12.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad all that's gone. They righted the ship. And now this weekend means something. And I think it's a huge deal to be able to go on the road. I love the way they're doing it, right? They're going, if we make the tournament, they're going right over to Omaha. That's real cool. Yeah. They're packing. I remember the NBA Finals. Yeah, if the team was up 3-2 and they were going on the road for the last 2 games, we're packing once. We're packing 1 suit. Like, this ain't going 7. We're taking care of it. And in this situation, they're packing a big bag because they expect to make the tournament, and they're going from Iowa to Omaha. And I love the attitude. They expect it now. But if Friday didn't go the way it did,
it's a whole different story.
Right.
As expected, Iowa is throwing Adam Mazer tomorrow night, Thursday at the 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:05 Central. This guy is a candidate for Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. He's just been unhittable, essentially, over the last few weeks. IU is taking a different strategy on this. As Coach told you last night, Chris, he's decided to focus on making sure that that the pitchers are rested. So Perkins is going to remain on Friday, which is the second game of the series. So Braden Tucker has been the announced, I think probably the better terminology would be opener. Although when did Tucker pitch last? I'm trying to remember. Did he pitch on Sunday? Did we see him in that second?
I know we saw him on Sunday. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Since we just saw Ty.
yeah, Ty was the only one that pitched in the other game. So
I just know it stuck in my head that we saw him because it was senior.
Okay.
He pitched one inning on the 15th.
Yep.
One inning
Okay.
on the 15th.
So just one inning.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean the point is, I mean, hey, if Ty's
27
actually, I mean, if Braden's actually rolling, he could actually pitch starter level innings,
Yeah.
4 or 5, but
Yeah.
probably expectation is roughly 3 innings.
Yeah. Happy with 3, thrilled with 4.
Yeah.
But I want 6 no-hit innings, just like LSU.
We know he's capable.
We were there.
Yep. That was a pretty good lineup too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then they've got Saturday, not Saturday, Friday, the second game of the series will be Dylan Nedved for Iowa. He's got a 5-2 record, 3.9 ERA. And obviously IU is going with Jack Perkins. So IU will have the ace. That's probably the game that Indiana's really targeting as the must-win game, is that second game. That's also at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. The series will wrap very late on Saturday, and that game will be on ESPNU. 9 p.m. is the first pitch scheduled. Iowa is throwing right-handed pitcher Ty Langberger. He's also 5-2 with a 3.96 ERA. IU is throwing that traditional third game starter, Mr. TBA. And I think it's really TBA right now. I think there's a big advantage to being the game that late in that day. I think IU's is kind of lucked out by this scheduling, because if you
Well, there's a reason why the NFL schedules their week 18 or week 17 schedule at the same time. There's a reason why the MLB does the same exact thing.
Yep.
Because in this case, we're going to be sitting here with a prime advantage.
Yep.
Knowing what we need. Do we need a win? Does it matter? Does it not? What seed do we want? Thank you, ESPNU.
Yep. Because especially if we don't need the win, we can throw whoever the hell we want out there.
Yeah. Well, more importantly, see, Bradley Bremer pitched 2 games this past weekend. He pitched the 2 innings on Saturday before the rain delay, and then he picked up the first 2 innings of the final game on Sunday.
Yep.
So that sets him up. He'd still be on short rest to pitch late Saturday, but it's not crazy short rest.
Mm-hmm.
However, if he were to have to pitch on Saturday, that pretty much means that he has to get bumped to either a Friday losers bracket game or a Saturday winners bracket game in the tournament. When historically speaking, since the Big Ten tournament has gone to the 18 format in 2014, the only teams to make it to the championship game have been the teams that have won their first 2 games, that have stayed in the winners bracket. So realistically speaking, especially with a pitching staff that's not incredibly deep, it is vitally important to win those 2 games. So this, with Perkins going on Friday, he could realistically pitch that second game on Thursday. But I think the scenario in which Bradley Bremer actually pitches that Wednesday game is only if he gets completely skipped here in Iowa. And I think that can only happen if going into Saturday, the Big Ten, a place in the Big Ten tournament's already been determined, which is very possible. But if it turns out that a win is necessary to do that, well, no, duh, you throw Bradley Bremer, because you got to get there. You just got to get there. So
it's a game 7. It becomes a game 7.
Yeah,
we're sitting there on a 9 p.m. on a Saturday night in a game 7.
Yep. But what's nice is the only scenario, there's only a very, very slight scenario in which you even get to like 7 p.m. that night and not know what you need. So
Yeah.
Thank you, ESPNU again.
yes, because I think there's a game at noon, a game at 1, a game at 3, and a game at 5. So
Well, we got lucky. I mean, it is an advantage. We can't say
Yeah.
it's not. I'd be a little upset if the the script
Yeah.
was flipped another way. I wouldn't like it, but
Yeah.
I'll gladly take it. Yeah, I absolutely will.
And it's
Yeah,
better
'cause
than
the
those.
thing is-
Especially on the road. You know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if we were at home, right? If they were sleeping in their own beds and the whole thing. We're going to be on the road. They're at the hotel. They're away. They're going to have to kill time. They want to know what they're
Yeah.
dealing with.
Yeah.
And, even though Austin Kutcher is an Iowa grad, we don't need some prank situation. We want to know exactly what is happening. And with this 9 p.m. start, it really helps. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, it's better than those fun basketball 9 p.m. Tuesdays games. So.
Yeah, and it's a rando game, and it doesn't even matter.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no. Luckily, we have the situation that we're going to know what we want. And it's not like, again, not to joke, right? Austin Kutcher really is a Iowa grad, but not that matters. There's situations where you think you knew what you needed, but then another game flipped in the 9th inning. Remember that 162 game where all the games started flipping? Half the managers thought they knew what they needed, and they did get pranked. These games are going to be done unless there's some kind of weather delay.
Yep.
Coach Mercer's going to know, and Grant, and they're going to know their plan. And we got lucky. Let's admit it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and take a quick look at our pick'em contest.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, Cass wants to, because Cass is continuing to just absolutely destroy the field.
There she is.
So, and in fact, right here, right now, it's possible Cass can clinch, depending upon, because the only competition Cass has at this point is Josh. So I'm gonna hold Josh's picks. We're gonna let Cass pick first.
Okay.
So Cass, why don't you give us your picks for this final week?
Okay. Well, Maryland beating Purdue seemed like possibly the easiest pick of the week.
And not according to the Big Ten podcast, the big podcast.
I mean, Purdue does have a bit of like they are fighting for stuff too, but
yeah, and the Purdue announcers run the big podcast.
Right.
So.
Well,
right. There's a little bit of bias there.
You think?
But Maryland wants that title outright.
they're good guys.
They're not.
No,
gonna
they
do
are.
that.
But if they're gonna take their guys.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't have IU in the pickup. I almost went the other way with this, but I'm going Rutgers over Michigan. That one has me a little nervous, but I think Rutgers over Michigan. I'm taking Illinois over Penn State.
Oh, Carl, I see a difference. There's one.
I am taking Nebraska at home over Michigan State. And this one was surprisingly close. I'm taking Northwestern at Minnesota, but not a sweep.
All right. So now for Josh's picks.
Yeah, I was looking at him. I don't think we have a competition if my math is correct.
Well, and it's usually correct because these two are usually pretty darn close.
Didn't we need two different ones to at least have a tie?
Ones, yes.
I don't think we got them.
Okay. So yes, we've got Penn State and that one is different.
Yes.
And we have, Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern, Nebraska.
Yep.
And the rest.
So we have a champion.
We have a champion. Congratulations, Cass.
Again, if only I could do this when I've got legit money on the line.
Nice. Congratulations. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Just Carl, put me down for the road teams.
Hey, that's almost what mine is.
Yeah, I'm just doing it because we're the road team, and I'd like to end with 5 in a row.
I had 5 in a row last week.
You did.
No, well, that'd be great. I would like 5 big series wins in a row.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So I'm taking all the road teams, and we'll be included in that.
Okay.
I would have
All
gave
right,
it more
so-
thought if I could have caught you, but I can't even catch you. So it's whatever.
All right, so Chris is taking Maryland, Rutgers, Illinois, Michigan State,
IU.
IU, yeah, I know. Northwestern. All right, which is weirdly enough, Chris.
Yep.
I picked 4 road teams.
So
I only picked 1 home team, and that's the weird one. I picked Minnesota over Northwestern.
I had
Wow.
contemplated that one.
Okay. I gave it no thought once you said I couldn't catch you.
So let me see here.
But see, I also tried to in my head, there's a little bit of superstition there of I tried not to look at who we want to root for or really anything beyond just like, let's look at RPI and home versus away.
Yep.
Because as soon as I start intentionally picking stuff, chaos happens. And I don't
I'll be
want
honest.
chaos.
I wanted there to be 2 differences. So at least we could have gone and had to figure out a tiebreaker.
I would have been good with that. That would have been fun. But I definitely I get in the mode of if I start overthinking it, it gets into superstition jinx territory. So I'm like, nah, it's just RPI and home away.
Listen, whatever you're doing, I would keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess for me, and this is where I've come in different, which is why I think I actually did fairly well last week, was that I've been kind of trying to go by recent trends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I think I just feel like Northwestern doesn't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually feel like Minnesota's starting to put it together. I wasn't really keen on Minnesota, seeing how they finished up the 2 games they bizarrely won against Nebraska. Because they really didn't look good. Nebraska just looked awful,
bad.
Which is also why I picked Michigan State to beat Nebraska, because Nebraska just looked awful. So yeah, I kind of think Nebraska and Northwestern have checked out. And yes, as an IU fan, I want that. I'm hoping that continues, but I'm not picking that because that's what I want. I'm just picking it because that's what I've been observing.
Yep.
All right. So yes, the only thing left to determine in Pick'em based on this, there is a slight chance because Josh and I disagree in 3 different picks. I could potentially catch Josh.
Okay.
It would be a long shot.
At least you guys have something to play for.
If Illinois, Michigan State, and Minnesota all win their series, then I will catch Josh.
Yeah, bragging rights. I wanted 3rd place bragging rights. I couldn't even have them.
I think you picked Ohio State too much this year, Chris.
I'll tell you, the first 3 weeks, I lined up all the alumni from all the states. And I was like, all right, who has the better alumni? It just wasn't working.
No.
Yeah.
That's how I did it.
Weird? Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, who, anywhere in all of college baseball observation, would have Rutgers as one of the top 2 teams.
Right. 10 and have Nebraska as far down as they are.
Yeah.
True. Who would have had us as far down? I feel like we were like 5th to 6th in the picks.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll end up there.
Right about 6th.
We might end up there. I shouldn't say that.
We're right where we were picked by D1
yeah,
right now.
That's what I'm saying. I had to correct it right away. Even though it feels like we're further down.
We are exactly where D1 picked us.
Winning 4 straight series will do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it took a lot to Mercer said it yesterday. We've been playing at a conference tournament for a month.
Yeah.
And that's the difference with college, right? Because everybody's like, oh, in college football, everybody's like, oh, there's no tournament. Right. But the only way you're going to get in is if you're in your conference, title game, if you win your conference tournament, and that's how you get into the big tournament.
Yeah.
You got to
no other way.
Basically.
You have to.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, now I believe we've got some hardware to hand out. Chris, how about red belts?
Right. Let me pull up my my red belt paperwork here on my phone. All right. Now, first off, the first one's completely obvious. You know, the Joey Donato red belt is going to go to Ty Bothwell. 111 pitches, 0 hits. It was really impressive. We needed it too, right? Because we knew we're facing a doubleheader. Carl has stated it many times. It's very hard to sweep a doubleheader. So if you can keep your bullpen in the bullpen, never a bad thing. So Ty gets the Joey Donato award. The Tony Butler red belt for defensive. I'm going to go to Bobby Whalen for his play on Sunday in center field. There weren't that many choices, I'll be honest. Standout players or game turning around plays on D. Shout out to Dones though for another one of these wild tags that he makes. But Bobby's was better, you know. So you gotta split hairs at this point. But really, Dones is he's like, I don't want to say Javi Baez because that's a whole nother level, but it reminds me of it from watching Javi, you know, through the years. It's like he's like an art of doing it, making the tag. But the ground that Bobby Whalen covered and just being able to make that grab, it's a big play. Now, offensively, we're going to go a little different this week. Okay. A first-time winner. All right. A first-time winner, David Condon. Yes. David Condon. Okay. Who the second base umpire, the crew chief on Friday. We're going to give David the Red Belt Award. You know, you guys might know why or not know why, but a certain individual was harassing the home plate umpire, might have been ragging him with an Angel chant, might have been considering to compare the home plate umpire to Angel Hernandez because he was so terrible. And this home plate, this umpiring crew, head chief David Condon, decided to eject this individual. And the minute he got ejected, the Hoosiers came back on Friday night. So offensive red belt, the Alex Dickerson Award is going to go to David Condon. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, David. And we're going Tony Butler Award for Bobby Whalen. And of course, the Donato Award, no jokes, obviously, is Ty Bothwell for the week.
See, if you hadn't brought that up, I was about to ask if the team gets behind again like that, where's Feeney going to be that he can get kicked out of to start a new rally?
Listen, this was not the plan, okay? It wasn't even my idea. I was up by the rail and somebody else called him Angel. And I was like, oh, that's great. So I stole it from the guy.
You're louder.
Yeah, well, I stole it from the guy. I'm not going to say who it was. I know exactly who it was, but I'm not going to say who it was. But I will give him credit if by some chance he watches this. So the Angel, the whole thing. I might have done it 14 times. It was fun. I might have reminded this home plate umpire that just because Kyle Schwarber went here, that he doesn't have to be Angel Hernandez. You know, I might have mentioned that very loud. And then this lady comes up, Usher, angry Usher, whatever, no soup for you. We know her. We've seen her before. She comes up and she warns me and says, hey, you can't do that. And I specifically said to her, is that his name? Like, could it possibly be his name? Did I actually say this ump's name? But no, his name appears to be David Ewell. Yep. Okay. So not Angel, Ewell. I don't know. David, I'm sorry again. UYL. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly either. Yeah, you think so? I don't care.
100% you are.
Yeah. So Angel, you suck. Yeah, that happened a couple of times. But when I got warned, never did it again. Went and sat down in the seat I was sitting at before the fiasco. And then there's what is it? Condon? David Condon decides it doesn't matter. He's gone. Kick him out anyway. So I got ejected and the comeback started. And I got to tell you, Austin Renda sounds better in the parking lot than he does in your living room. Because I've heard him a lot in my living room. I honestly, and I've heard, well, I should correct that. I have heard Austin Renda in the parking lot before pulling in. I've been late to games before. I've never heard him in the dock, in the parking lot. And he sounds great. So it was definitely a strange experience being ejected. That's 3 for me. Shea Stadium, Veteran Stadium in Philly. We're not going to get into the details why about those, but we know the details about this one. And again, after the warning, I have to say I did not do it again.
You did not,
because I didn't want to leave. You know, even though I thought it was a silly warning, like I wasn't calling the guy out, but whatever. I didn't say his name. I was calling him out, but I didn't say his name. But I did stop. But so what? It led to the rally to a huge win.
Yep.
So it reminded me of the warning over the PA when I was harassing the guy who hit Ryan Feynman, and we still came back and won that game too. So 2 warnings, 1 ejection, both victories.
Oh.
David Condon definitely earned that red belt.
And there was
Well,
some fun with the student section, as the students and high schoolers and a little league team as well.
Well, the ones by the road dugout unfortunately earned their ejection. I'm not going to get into what they did.
Talking to some others some Indiana people who were right there, it was not as bad as the visiting fans were saying. It was run of the mill stuff.
But if they directed any of it towards a visiting player's family, they deserve the ejection.
Yeah.
And that's what I heard happen.
Okay.
And again, they're off limits. Okay. Parents of players are off limits.
Yeah.
Parents of road team players are off limits.
Yep.
Parents of home team players are off limits. You just can't do that.
Yep.
And that's the word I got that happened. But whatever. I mean, they're silly. You know, they were younger. They made a mistake. You're allowed back the next day. Come on back. I came back.
Yep. Well, maybe not the next day, because
I would have, but they made the game. No, they said it was going to be in 4.
Right. And inning and a half.
But listen, I would have been there. It was just they kept playing with the times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Cassidy, it was great to see you this weekend. You came to the BART. Any reflections you have on your time at the BART this weekend?
I just love how welcoming everyone is, because obviously I'm not there a lot anymore. I don't have the direct connections from when I was there every single game, but even just thinking Sunday being welcomed over to the outfield tent area and getting to chill in there for a bit, because man, it was hot out. The weather might have said 80 degrees. It did not feel like 80 degrees out there. But just such a great environment, and being able to see everybody is always fun, and being able to be live so much now when I'm sitting at home watching the games on my couch, I'm keeping score. I'm more focused on that than anything else. So to have a few games where I could sit there, I could really be a fan, I could yell and scream and have some fun. That was really nice. And some of those big home runs are a lot more fun in person than they are on TV.
You've now gotten to see, like, I think Ellis is two of his 3 biggest you've now seen. So
yeah, well,
in person. No, I take it back. You've seen all 3 of them.
Yeah, well,
yeah, because the one in Clemson.
Yep.
The one at Missouri State, and this one last night. Those I think were his 3 biggest.
I wasn't in person for last night.
Oh, that's right. You weren't there. You were here this weekend, not last night.
I was here the weekend. Although he did have a nice head high line drive one. Mm-hmm. But no, and even that for me, I got to take in 3 series in person.
Yeah.
Even in a normal year, it's normally 2, opening weekend and a home series.
Yeah.
Like to get the 3rd one, I will continue to lobby for IU to continue to play Missouri teams within the state of Missouri, because I love it.
Yeah, SEMO's good.
Yeah, right? SEMO is periodically good.
Yeah.
Or they are decent, baseline decent, periodically good.
Yeah.
Even some of the St. Louis area ones, SLU is not on that same level, but SLU's not typically horrible.
Okay.
What's their mascot? Their basketball team's good sometimes.
Pelicans.
I knew it was something weird. Yep. Pelicans.
But again, while I know SEC scheduling stuff prevents it, Mizzou right there in the middle of the state, they've got a great setup.
Yeah, it's just that them playing 10 SEC series.
Yep.
Just you'd end up getting their availability is going to be so early in the season, and I think they're mostly not wanting to play home games. So.
Yep. And they typically do have at least a midweek with Illinois. So.
Yeah.
Because rivalry stuff. I will continue to lobby for it, whether or not it will realistically happen.
Yes. Here's the thing. You can lobby for anything. Year after year after year after year. And one night they might play Lazy Mary.
Oh.
Just saying.
Just saying. Stranger things happen.
Yeah, and they only warned you that night, Chris. So
same night.
Yep,
same night. Same night.
Oh.
I didn't even think about that. Same night.
That is fantastic.
I didn't even put that together. Same night. Lazy Mary, the warning, Murphy, you suck. Miller hits the bomb, we win. I didn't even say that at the game. I didn't even put it together.
Yep.
Well, I couldn't say much at the game, but no problem. And then I left.
Yep.
That girl was so young. She was like 21 years old, scared to even tell me I had to leave. Yeah. I was not going to give her a hard time.
No.
Yeah. I said 2 words. Messenger. I said 2 words twice. No problem. And then she looked at me and looked shocked, like, oh my God, he's going to listen. And I just said, no problem. And I just left.
She was the messenger.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was not the problem.
No. Apparently I was.
No, as I said, and I think we've really enjoyed what the fans have brought. I pretty much any day with good weather has brought a nice crowd to the park, and at least as long as the team has done well, especially late in those, and the crowds have seemed to hang on quite a bit in these games, which is really good to see. And managed to make some noise. It's not exactly where we would hope it would be, but I think it's a vast improvement over the way things have been, especially from last year when there wasn't any fans allowed at all. So I think all that's trending in a good direction. And as Chris often likes to say, hey, it's great that you care, and we know that the BART is a great experience. So I think
who also cares though, Carl? The players.
Yeah.
Listen to that Matt Ellis interview. He brought it up. He mentioned it. He was talking about how late it was on a weeknight. Yeah. These guys, I know that maybe we think they don't care and maybe they're just like, focus. Watch that Matt Ellis interview that we did last night. He just, you could see the joy in his face talking about how there were people in the stands at 12 noon. Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to say what he said. Watch him say it, because the look on a kid's face, 20, what is he, 22? I'm not sure, 23. Yeah. He's older probably with JUCO, but you could see it in his face that they appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And no, are we a roaring 7,000 SEC? So no, but watch Matt Ellis's face and tell me they don't appreciate it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. And, and I can say from, talking to Ty Bothwell on Sunday, and it's great when we get done with interviewing Ty, he always fist bumps everybody in the media. It's great.
Yes.
And he explains, he explained that to us as, it's just, he's thanking especially the student media, who again, I just do quickly want to give a shout out to. The student media this year has been phenomenal. No matter what organization they're with, whether it's IUS TV, Garrett working for us, IDS.
Matthew Byrne is named IDS.
Yeah. I mean, just a phenomenal group. And they've had multiple people going through IUS TV, and obviously, Big Ten Plus, the students working for Big Ten Plus as well.
And I want to give Griff a shout out for the early season radio broadcast. He was phenomenal. Yeah. And of course, I know he's not a student anymore, but Austin Render definitely deserves a shout out as well.
Especially for adding trivia.
Yes.
I got 3 out of 5 right last night, and he even
nailed it.
And he even not
3 out of 5. Yeah, take 3 to 5 to Vegas and tell me you won't do good.
Yeah. And I got the hard one, because he was going with the guys who got 5 RBIs in a game, and I got Sam Merson. So
nice. He had 2 bombs in that game, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think we're actually kind of over our time, so we do go ahead and need to wrap this up. But hey, tomorrow night, right back at it. You know, the Hoosiers, you know, are obviously going to go for another series win, but at the very least want to pick up a win and clinch a bid to the Big Ten tournament. So we're going to be paying attention. Got Braden Tucker going against Major tomorrow, so let's time for it to go. So that's all we've got. So for Josh Bennett, Cassidy Palmer, and Chris Feeney, I'm Carl James, and it may not be till the fall, but we will see you at the BART.